Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including another new factory, the end of the referral program, a controversial $22,500 Tesla repair, Ford battery deals, the latest for FSD, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, the latest updates for the full self-driving beta include a beta request button, hopefully coming very soon, with some pretty specific criteria. Tesla has promised this package for a long time now, and there are many people who have bought this FSD package over the years, waiting for the full autonomy Elon has promised for a few years. The latest updates have included many rewrites to the software, and the latest beta 10 is getting closer to something that they can actually release to the general public. According to Elon Musk, quote, good feedback from FSD Beta 10 users. 10.0.1 point release rolling out now. 10.1 rolls out a week from Friday with beta request button. That would be this Friday, but the timing still appears to be another week after that, possibly. Elon said, quote, beta button will request permission to access driving behavior using Tesla Insurance Calculator. If driving behavior is good for 7 days, beta access will be granted. This is a bit confusing, but it did prompt a lot of funny jokes from Tesla owners saying that they are going to be driving super slow and super safe for the next 7 days up until this beta gets released. What's interesting here is that Tesla is making sure you're a great driver in order to let the car drive for you. When someone tweeted this saying, quote, you must be a good driver not to drive, which may become a new norm, Elon responded saying, quote, ironically, yes at this time. FSD beta system at times can be so good that vigilance isn't necessary, but it is. Also, any beta user who isn't super careful will get booted. 2,000 beta users operating for almost a year with no accidents needs to stay that way. Tesla obviously has to be very careful when moving forward with this beta and opening it up to more people. The last thing they want is accidents to happen due to driver inattentiveness, resulting in tons of bad press about full self-driving, which still clearly isn't perfect. It has to work through kinks for some time before getting better and better, even though it's great in many scenarios. Hopefully a beta button should arrive for Tesla owners as early as this Friday, and it could require either a 7-day look back or 7 days of insurance data processing from the car to prove you are a good driver. I'll do my best to get the beta and make some good videos with it, but I'm not counting on this opening up as easily as people are hoping for. Tesla is facing a lot of scrutiny over their autopilot system in general and this specific expansion of the FSD beta, so they want to be very careful. In a Wall Street Journal article, quote, Jennifer Homendy, the new head of the National Transportation Safety Board, said Tesla shouldn't roll out the city driving tool before addressing what the agency views as safety deficiencies in the company's technology. She further said that, quote, basic safety issues have to be addressed before they're then expanding it to other city streets and other areas. When referring to the naming of full self-driving, she said, quote, it has clearly misled numerous people to misuse and abuse technology. Now, I don't agree that the naming is what makes people misuse this technology. It's clear both on screen when you agree to use the system properly before turning it on, and it's clear when you use it that it is not perfect. It should not be trusted for something like sleeping, of course. I do think Tesla could use a name change to something like future self-driving to truly detail what this package includes, since it is by no means full self-driving, but saying that it is directly leading to the misuse of the technology is a stretch. In any case, the recent autopilot investigation involves Teslas crashing into emergency vehicles that are parked with emergency lights flashing. In a new software update releasing to owners in the coming days and weeks, Tesla specifically says, quote, if Model 3/Model Y detects lights from an emergency vehicle when using auto steer at night on a high-speed road, the driver's speed is automatically reduced and the touchscreen displays a message informing you of the slowdown. You will also hear a chime and see a reminder to keep your hands on the steering wheel. When the light detections pass by or cease to appear, autopilot resumes your cruising speed. Alternatively, you may tap the accelerator to resume your cruising speed. They also add a warning that says, quote, never depend on autopilot features to determine the presence of emergency vehicles. Model 3/Model Y may not detect lights from emergency vehicles in all situations. Keep your eyes on your driving path and always be prepared to take immediate action. This all was added after the launch of the NHTSA investigation, which could be a coincidence or a pointed response to get ahead of anything they may need to change. In any case, it's a good update to see, and it's something the beta will need to do, so I'm glad Tesla is pushing this to all customers. Next up, Tesla has officially ended their referral program, which truly is the end of an era. Tesla's original referral program allowed owners to send the referral link to others before buying. There were great incentives like receiving 1,000 supercharger miles for free and up to 5,000 miles free in certain time periods. Then there was the incentive to earn a discount on a Roadster, with certain YouTubers earning free Roadsters that have yet to be delivered but should be when that car releases. For a while now, the program has entered you in a drawing for a free Model Y and included 1,000 supercharger miles for whoever refers, as well as 1,000 miles for the buyer using the link. It was a great little bonus for these cars that allowed you to start ownership with free miles and gave an incentive to people to talk to other people about their Teslas. Now though, Tesla has more demand than they can even handle as is, and their cars are doing fine without the referral program. Ultimately, they're just losing money giving out these free miles, as great as the program may be. It's sad for some to see it go, but I think it was only a matter of time. The program officially ended on September 17th, and there are no details of any other referral programs coming. And this will likely lead Tesla to shift any free supercharger mile incentives to end of quarter sales and delivery pushes. Next up, Ford has become more prevalent for electric vehicles lately with the release of their Mustang Mach-E, which is overall getting great reviews, and the announcement of their electric F-150 Lightning. Going forward, it's clear that if automakers want to make more EVs, battery supply is going to get constrained. Tesla has thought about this a lot and is planning to build their own battery factories to make their own battery cells, and Ford appears to be working on battery supply as well with an ex-Tesla executive. Tesla's former CTO, JB Struble, has a battery recycling startup company called Redwood Materials. They just secured a deal with Ford to, quote, develop a robust and sustainable battery supply chain in the United States. Redwood Materials recently announced a $700 million funding round, $50 million of which will be coming from Ford. Now, Ford is not the only automaker working with Redwood, as they are also working with Nissan and currently work with Tesla recycling things at Giga Nevada. While Ford is planning to work with them on various recycling projects, they are also planning to work with Redwood to create new batteries from salvaged lithium, cobalt, nickel, and copper. Tesla has also detailed a similar process for future recycling plans. Quote, the Ford and Redwood vision begins with incorporating battery recycling into Ford's American battery production strategy, integrating recycled battery materials, both scrap from battery production and batteries at the end of their usable life, into the battery supply chain to drive down costs, environmental footprint, and secure a critical battery material supply that Ford will need to continue to ramp their electric vehicle production. This ex-Tesla executive is well known for some breakthrough battery technologies at Tesla, and it's really great to see his company doing these important things for more battery production and locking in battery recycling. He wants any company to be able to create a closed loop for battery materials, allowing them to constantly be repurposed so there is hardly any waste. It's definitely interesting to see this from Ford and points to them getting serious about battery supply in the future. Likely they are seeing how much demand there is for the Mach-E and will be for the F-150, so they are seeking out help from an expert in the field, Tesla's former CTO. We'll see what comes from this, but it should result in cheaper batteries and better environmental processes for cars at the end of their life. Tesla could possibly take advantage of these breakthroughs as well if new ones are made by continuing to work with Redwood. While we're talking about Ford, Ford has actually issued a recall for the Mustang Mach-E for glass roof issues. Last year, a Model Y made the news for having its roof allegedly fly off when driving down the freeway. The car was brand new, so this was a big issue, but it was not seen on any other cars. Shortly after, the head of development for Ford's battery electric vehicles said of the Mach-E that, quote, the doors fit properly, the plastics and other materials color match, the bumpers don't fall off, the roof doesn't come off when you wash it, the door handles don't get stuck in cold weather. This was clearly pointed at Tesla and mocking design and quality control over there, but now Ford is actually facing the same issue, ironically enough. Quote, on certain vehicles, the glass panel of the panoramic sunroof may not be properly attached. Over time, the glass could become loose and separate from the vehicle. According to Ford, this affects 1,812 2021 Mustang Mach-E's in Canada, and another 3,718 Mach-E's have a similar issue, but for the windshield coming off instead of the roof. Quote, on certain vehicles, the windshield may not be properly attached. As a result, the glass can become loose and could separate from the vehicle in a crash. Ford plans to proceed with these recalls by notifying affected owners, checking the roof and windshield, and reassembling them with more adhesive if needed. It's odd that they're all for Mach-E's in Canada, since they were all made at the same factory in Mexico, but it's possible that these were from a specific time on the assembly line where they were making them strictly for the Canadian market. We've seen similar issues with Teslas built during certain time periods having issues like loose bolts. In this case, it's a much larger issue involving the roof and windshield for Canadian Mach-E's, but some are expecting that this could expand to ones delivered in the US as well. Ford seems to really poke fun at Tesla a lot, so it's definitely ironic to see this kind of issue coming from them. Hopefully all of this gets resolved easily, quickly, and safely so that they can keep producing this car. The more EVs EVs, the better, and I've been seeing quite a lot of them on roads in Los Angeles. Next up, an interesting repair happened with rich rebuilds on a Tesla, and it has become controversial. Tyler Hoover's Tesla Model S P85 battery stopped holding a charge. The car had a Kelley Blue Book value of $23,000, and Tesla wanted to replace the entire battery pack for $22,500. After this, he took it into Rich Rebuild's electrified garage in Florida to have a look. Basically, they found voltage imbalances in 2 of the 16 battery modules. Quote, "We were able to drop the battery and replace modules in the pack to fix the issue for about 75% off the quoted Tesla Service Center price. This is the importance of both right to repair and having skilled technicians available at service centers to properly diagnose issues with solutions that are not wasteful or overly extreme in cost. The sustainability aspect is most alarming as we are coming up to most older Model S and X vehicles being out of warranty. All in all, the repair ended up being about $5,000, as they said, about 75% less than what Tesla was quoting. Now, this repair has been controversial because people are using that huge number as a comparison, saying Tesla charged $22,500 and it could have been a $5,000 fix. Ultimately, though, Tesla is quoting for an entirely different repair, and many were criticizing this repair for not being safe. The ideal is to replace the entire battery pack, and a repair like this may cause some pretty bad imbalances. In fact, in an update to this Electrek article about it, it says, quote, "Jason Hughes, who has performed the same repair before, has said that the new modules will result in an imbalance every time at some point. He says that unless the owner leaves the car alone for weeks at a time, it will likely not last a year." That doesn't sound great at all, but Rich disagrees, saying, quote, "For a degraded Tesla battery, the best fix is to replace the battery pack as a whole. I don't think anyone is arguing with that. Most companies wouldn't waste their time with individual component repair. For them, it makes no sense, but to the customer, it makes a world of difference. In terms of the repair, we've done quite a few ourselves using both methods. We found that the customers typically prefer to spend the extra to replace the whole brick and attempt to keep as much range as possible. Our first one was 2 years ago, so far so good." So they've done this repair before, but he does understand that replacing the pack entirely is the best solution. Ultimately, it will be better for the range of the vehicle long term, but Rich is all about the right to repair and customers having the option to do this repair at a cheaper price, even though it might not be the smartest for the car in the long run. It might only last a year according to other people. Quote, "To the customer, it didn't make financial sense spending $22,000 on a car that's worth $25,000. He would rather just buy another high mileage Tesla. This is really about giving people various options for repair as opposed to a dead end, and also keeping a Tesla on the road." This ended up turning into a whole controversy with diehard Tesla fans thinking this whole thing was made up to get press, which is really unfortunate to see, but ultimately it just shows the difference in what Tesla will offer versus a small repair shop and points to the ideas of right to repair. Tesla battery packs rarely need replacements, which is great, but when they do, they can be expensive. Next up today, Audi has launched their new Q4 e-tron SUV in the US, and the price is confirmed to start at just $36,400 after incentives. The original concept of this car was unveiled in 2019, and it will likely be competing directly with the Model Y, especially with that affordable price. Audi plans for 2 different battery pack options, 55 kilowatt hours and 82 kilowatt hours. The specs for the Q4 40 e-tron include that larger 82 kilowatt hour battery pack, and they expect to get about 241 miles of EPA range on a charge. That car also does 0 to 60 in 7.9 seconds and starts at $43,900, qualifying for the $7,500 tax credit off of that. What's interesting is that these are about the same specs in regards to range as Tesla shipped on the standard range Model Y, starting at a similar price. Teslas currently don't qualify for incentives, and that may change soon, but it's unfortunate that the Audi Q4 with its large 82 kilowatt hour battery still only pulls off 241 miles of range. In my opinion, that may excite people that there is a cheaper EV option out there, but these people may find the car frustrating with lower range, not great efficiency, and less charging options available. I think every new EV is great and getting them cheaper and cheaper is important, but there's only so much that can be sacrificed with range to bring the cost down. Tesla canceled the standard range Model Y in the US due to its low range, but hopefully we should see some cheaper options coming soon across the board from all companies that include compelling ranges. An any case, this new Q4 e-tron will be arriving in US dealerships by the end of the year, and the top spec model gets better performance specs with a 5.8 second 0 to 60. One quick story today, Tesla has both confirmed and denied rumors about their new factory location. Tesla is currently building 2 factories, and their main factories in Fremont and Shanghai are operational for producing vehicles. Giga Berlin and Giga Texas should be opening up later this year, but Tesla isn't stopping there, and they plan for another factory in the future. Elon Musk has been hinting at another factory, and Russian media was reporting that the next factory would be located there. To this, Elon responded on Twitter saying, quote, "Tesla has not yet decided on a 4th Gigafactory location." For one, this confirms that Tesla may be looking in Russia, but hasn't decided as reports were showing. But for two, this shows that Tesla is indeed planning for another factory actively. Wherever it ends up, it will be added to the list of their factories as they continue to expand exponentially over the next few years. Last up today, Tesla has started deliveries of the new refreshed Model S over in Canada. A few were spotted waiting for delivery, and on September 21st, a few deliveries were confirmed. For now, they were actually normal long-range models, but the Plaid is expected soon. This is only the second country to get this new car, and so far it has been delivered in both countries with the yoke wheel exclusively. I don't think Tesla will change that anytime soon. That's the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see all of the competition that exists in the $25,000 price range for EVs, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.